and welcome to another episode of Erongo Talk. It's Friday. My name is Leandra Lowe and I'm joined by the ever handsome.
Yes, I'm Tiro Karisef. Yes.
And today we are joining you from a very misty Walvis Bay Waterfront. Now, as usual, we bring you the latest news that includes sports and entertainment, as well as the weather and tides.
Yes, and in today's interview, we're chatting with Tuhafeni Elia, the founder of Tuhafeni's Modeling Academy, who shares how he prepares his models for the upcoming fashion shows. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Now it's time for your news, and like we said, we join you from a very misty and cold Walvis Bay waterfront. Now, President Erongo has issued a warning to Namibians who blatantly disregard health regulations introduced to combat the spread of the COVID pandemic. I wish to inform those organizing and engaging in such activities that there will be consequences as provided for in our laws and regulations, he said. Now, the President said that videos of young people seen partying and flouting the public health and safety protocols are troublesome. Such wanton recklessness, selfishness and irresponsibility at the time that our country is warding off the peak of the pandemic should not be allowed to continue. Erongo emphasized that the war against COVID-19 continues, adding that it is a war of attrition that has taken a heavy toll. Most, if not all, Namibians have been affected by this invisible and merciless enemy in one way or another. This is indeed a somber period in our country's history, as it has been reported Namibia has now passed the 1,000 mark of men, women and children who have lost their lives due to COVID-19. So it's very important that you stick to the regulations, because that is the only way we can get rid of COVID-19. And then finally, the police have called for help from the public to identify persons who are illegally removing metal rails and uprights holding the bridge in place over the Swakop River. This occurrence has been happening for several years now. Now, large segments of the rails of the bridge linking Walvis Bay and its harbour via the B2 road have been removed illegally by members of a suspected syndicate operating in the area. Now, according to the Crime Investigations Coordinator, Deputy Commissioner Erastus Ikuyu, this act is a crime and is regarded as sabotaging state infrastructure. They must stop doing this. I don't think it has anything to do with employment or poverty. It is plain greediness, Ikuyu said. He added that the perpetrators are residents of the coastal town and thus called on the public to assist with the necessary information to apprehend them. The thieves bring these items to their homes before selling them. We need anyone who has seen them with this infrastructure to report them. He urged scrap metal yard owners to alert the police about culprits coming to sell the iron railing bars. Now head on over to our website, that's at www.erongo.com.na, where you can get the contact numbers if you see someone with these rails and report them. There is also the place where you can read all about what's happening right here in the Erongo region. Any news from entertainment to sports to some hard news, that is the place to be. It's www.erongo.com.na.
Welcome back to Erongo Talk. Joining me here in studio is Tuhafeni, the founder of Tuhafeni's Modeling Academy. How are you doing, brother?
All is well, man. How is it your side?
No, everything's wonderful. So, what's new for your modeling academy?
Basically what we're busy with, we're setting up some plans for hosting some holiday event that will be at the end of the year, because now most of the models are catching up with schools and then also with work. They are actually working some double shifts, and also we want a time that is going to be a bit great for us to host some events in the future. We're looking at during December, late in the year. Yeah, that's basically what we're planning for.
Yes, yes. You know, as models, they believe that they have those refined bodies, and sometimes it's difficult to get somebody to exercise. How do you keep these people intact and in shape?
Oh, okay, that's quite easy for me because I live a fitness lifestyle whereby I'm also a bootcamp instructor part-time, and then I always emphasize on them keeping themselves always ready and prepared for events, and also for doing the catwalk, for those that are taking part in the pageants to be always healthy. And then this is very serious because you need to be always healthy with everything that is happening now currently. You always have to have a healthy check or medical check as a model. Yes, very important.
Yes, wonderful. So why did you actually start a modeling academy?
Okay, well, the reason why it runs 4 years ago when I had some approach of different upcoming models through my social media handles, whereby they were looking forward to having events happening in Swakopmund, and I, on the other hand, I had my life organized and stable in Swakopmund. So I look at the term whereby I can make also Swakopmund a great mighty town and in fashion. So we're adapting from the leading city Windhoek, and yeah, so basically some youth girls and guys approached me, and then I made the dream come true to organize and come up with a modeling agency within Swakopmund.
Yes. So when your agency and your school, when your students go for competitions and when they're doing their fashion week and those things, who does their tailor-make gowns that they wear, or do you just find sponsorships for that?
Yeah, it's a bit complex with when we do events, because the Tuhafeni Modeling Academy was also part of the organizing team of doing the Swakopmund Fashion Week. We were the first ever to find the Swakopmund Fashion Week, whereby we had 30 designers, 15 local designers from Namibia, and then also 15 designers from Botswana. So we're looking at whereby we were welcoming all mixed cultures and all over the country, and also neighboring country. And mostly we had the Made in Namibia collection that also sponsored us. We dressed about, in 2018, we dressed about 30 matriculants, whereby we hosted the matriculant dance fashion show at the Tamareskia Hall. And then we, as we have seen or picked up that most students, they could not afford the matric farewell dance fashion show clothes or dance outfit. So we came up with the matric farewell dance fashion show where we can dress matriculants for an affordable price, ranging from $400 to $1,000. Then we won't call it ridiculous, but then also for those that are not so privileged to afford an outfit for the night. But then, yeah, we dress up to 30 to 40 more students, matriculants, 2018. That's one of our highlights. And yeah.
Yes. So, you're running such a big organization on your own. You must have a few setbacks. What are the setbacks that you personally want to work on to improve the standard of your academy?
Setbacks are always there, but it depends to an individual. If you're going to let them keep you at one position, or you overcome them as you want to achieve your goal or the dream that you have for others as well. Because when these come, they don't just come in one way, they come in different forms. You find challenges of whereby a place where you can host your trainings or preparing for an event. You find whereby most people that are interested in the academy, they're in the northern part of Namibia or in the southern part of Namibia, and they cannot afford to come to Swakopmund. So, but for us, we are based in Swakopmund, and then it's really hard also to host different trainings within different places, and as you know, it involves finance, and we don't really have anyone backing us with the finance, and it's only the models themselves that donate something, and then we keep the academy going. So finance, I should say, and then basically distance as well. But yeah, those are things that we're looking at, and just hoping one day we overcome them. Yeah.
Yes. So at every event where you attend, you always look classic.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Do you have like somebody that dresses you?
Fortunately, I have one. That's my mom. If I don't take the credit, she'll punch me. Yeah. So my mom always do the killer, man. So I always pop up to a place to check if I'm ready for the event that I'm hosting. So yeah, credit to her.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So for models, are there any jobs available, especially in your region and country?
Yeah, with the latest technology now, there's always jobs available everywhere. Is when job seems not available is because maybe you're not looking at the right places, or you are not connected or networking with the right people. So jobs are always available. We're looking at in terms of there is now social media that influence everyone, whereby you can be a marketing influencer as long as you have the necessary amount of followers or likes on Instagram, for example, Facebook, naming the few. So there's always jobs, and then some music videos also. I did some of organizing of some of the big artist names music videos within Namibia. And my models took part in most of those music videos. So there's always some handy jobs out there that one can fill up. Yeah.
Yes. So if new students and people want to reach you, how can they get in touch with you?
Okay, you can email me on Tuhafeni Academy, Tuhafeni Academy at gmail.com, and then you can also catch us on Instagram with the Tuhafeni Modeling Academy, or you can just dial the number 081 447 8846, or the other information will be provided by Erongo TV. Yes. Basically, yeah, we're based in Swakopmund. You can just shout to Tuhafeni Modeling Academy and we'll be there.
Thank you for taking the time to be here, Tuhafeni.
No, thank you. Great host, and I'm really privileged and happy to be here as well.
Yes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
And now it's time for your sports news, and Tiro, please take it away.
Yes. Namibian elite cyclist Vera Loser took social media to announce that she has been taking some time off to focus on her mental health. Loser joins the likes of Japan's Naomi Osaka, who recently spoke out about the mental health before the French Open, announced that she would not participate in any after-match news conferences because she wanted to safeguard her mental well-being. Now, Osaka said that reporters' questions sometimes put doubts in her mind. Despite the difference in circumstances of the two athletes, the issue of mental health is a forefront for these athletes. Caring for themselves is the utmost importance.
Yeah, I think the pandemic really opened that up in terms of mental health. And then for our next sports story, that's something in Afrikaans. Nadat die laaste vorige motortydrent in die land verlede jaar in November aangebied was, het Wilrou Dippenaar Saterdag op Omaruru seker gemaak hy palm die eerste Shell V Power byeenkoms van 2021 in wat deur die Red Line Motorklub ingebied was. Nou Dippenaar se team PZN panel beater Shell V Power 4x4 Ford Fiesta S2000 was onstuitbaar in die S4 klas oor die 7 spesiale skofte van altesaam 110 km wat hy almal in 1 uur en 10 minute gewen het. Dippenaar sê die roetes was almal uitsonderlik en nie te hard op die voertuie nie. Hy sê afgesien dat die Ford Fiesta se temperatuur nou en dan te hoog geraak het, het dit andersins foutloos so stroop geloop. Nou hy sê die mense van Omaruru is geweldig vriendelik en gasvry. Almal het gehelp waar hulle kon en die lodges was baie behulpsaam. Daar was 'n baie lekker tydren en die roetes was goed gekies en uitgelê. But you can head on over to our website, that's www.erongo.com.na, that's www.erongo.com.na, to read about who's the other people that reached the podium in the Shall We Power rally, as well as other sports news that's happening right here in the Erongo region.
Easy! This is the voice of the regional one done. One on sundown, this is Todromo Alexaro from dusk till dawn. Right now, you're watching Erongo Talk, so keep the vibes on till the sun go down. Mad, bad.
And now it's time for your entertainment news. The first comprehensive guidebook to the Namibian parks in almost 30 years has been launched. The Namibian Nature Parks by Henk Dengler showcases 22 state areas and 2 large private nature reserves and offers an overview of the community conservation areas that maintain wildlife inhabited between the parks. For each of the featured protected areas, this in-depth guide provides detailed portrayals of landscape and geomorphology, flora and fauna, history, current conservation priorities, research initiatives and findings. Other information includes fact sheets and detailed park maps showing all the visitors' routes, as well as fascinating and informative route notes, travel tips and more information. And now that concludes the entertainment news.
Hi guys, I'm Zini Vikas and I'm a makeup artist and I will show you guys how to cover up a pimple. First you can go with a brush, any of your choice, and then you're going to go in with a concealer that is 2 shades lighter than your skin, and you're going to go on the pimple and just try to cover it. Then you can go in with a beauty blender. Doesn't matter what size your beauty blender is, as long as it's a good beauty blender and blends well, there's nothing wrong. Then you're going to go again with a concealer and cover it. Then I will be going with some translucent powder, and if you don't have translucent powder, you can always use baby powder because they work the same. Then you're going to go on top of that pimple and blend just like that. So you can go on the second layer, or how many layers you're comfortable with. Depends on the pimple, of course. Second layer. And you want to blend that out. And then you're going to go again with some water. And that's how you cover up a pimple. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Stay tuned for your weather and tides for all the major towns in the Erongo region. Unfortunately, that brings us to the end of our show for today.
Yes, now please don't head on over to our website. That's at www.erongo.com.na. That's www.erongo.com.na to read about what's happening right here in the Erongo region. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. And you can also get in contact with us at 0811 7040. That's 0811 7040 on both WhatsApp and on Telegram. That is also your go-to number if you want to advertise with us on both print and online media. 0811 7040.
Now remember, it's Friday, so please don't overdo and don't do nothing we wouldn't do.
Exactly.
Yes, please keep your mask on and social distance at all time. And we'll see you again on Monday. Same place, same time, but different places.
Bye.
Hotwisata nenamami o elopaku matikaio hotwisata nenamami o elopaku Came on!